Welcome to Where Passion Meets Purpose. I'm your host, Jen Mentesana. On this show, we help busy moms and entrepreneurs find more passion and purpose in their daily lives through inspiring stories and interviews. Welcome back, everyone, to Where Passion Meets Purpose. Today on the show, we have an amazing guest. Her name is Teresa Dinneen, and she is the owner of the company It's Lifestyled, which is an organizing company and basically comes into your home and helps you get organized, does closet edits, kitchen organization, everything that you can imagine wanting to have your home look like, Teresa does. And I definitely need to bring her into my home, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to have her on the show. And she is just an incredible female entrepreneur, amazing mom, balancing it all, doing it all like so many of us are. And I just knew that her story is going to resonate with all of you. So I'm so happy to invite you on the show, Teresa. Thank you for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited to share my story with everyone.
You're amazing. Well, Teresa's a local. She lives here in the South Bay. For those of us who are here in the South Bay, I've known Teresa for many years, and I've just always been inspired by, number one, your style. You just always seem to have it put together. I know we all try to look like it on the outside, but you're one of those people that has it pretty together on the inside as well, especially when it comes to your home and organization. But you didn't really always start out as this being your business. You were in the fashion business before this. I think you worked for Tom's and J Brand, right? The
Yep.
denim.
Exactly.
Yeah. So was that like your career that you started out of college?
It was. I knew I was going to be in fashion my whole life. That was kind of my dream. So as soon as I graduated, I lived in Tahoe for a little bit, but then moved straight to LA. And that's when my first job was at Quicksilver. So I worked there for many years. From there, went to J Brand, and then from J Brand, went to Tops. So that's kind of what I thought I would do forever. I thought I would just be in fashion. But life takes little turns. And once I had my kids, I realized I had to do something different.
Yeah. So that's really, I think so many of us can relate to that because we get into this place in life where we have this career and we're focused and we're doing all the things. And then you think about having a family and you bring kids into the situation, and all of a sudden everything changed. Your priorities shift and you're starting to look at, how can I do something, because I still love to work and I still want to contribute, or I still want to have that creative outlet, but I need to be able to do it on my terms and on my schedule. So what was that like for you, that period of time? How did you decide to start your own business?
Well, after I had my daughter, I went back to work, and I was at Tom's at the time, and I did love it, but I had to be in the office. It was really before anyone was doing remote work. So I was in the office all day. I was still traveling because, fashion does require a lot of travel to and from New York and wherever your accounts are. So I was spending most of my day in the office and not with my daughter. I felt like the nanny was raising our kids versus me. And that's just not how I pictured motherhood would be. But you never know that until you're in it and till you become a mom. So I was trying to figure out what I could do where I could be at home more. I could set my own schedule and still work and provide, because we needed two incomes and I needed to work. So that's kind of how Lifestyle started.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us a little bit about like your passion. I know, reading about you, your passion for organizing started when you were a little kid. And as I always say, you know, if anyone comes to me and they're like, I want to start a business, but I just know I want to do something for myself, but I don't know what it is. I always go back to, what did you love when you were a child? What was that little girl, you know, inspired to do? Like for me, it was standing in front of my mirror and making up, plays and singing and dance routines and stuff like that. That's what I would do alone. But for you, it was something very different.
It was organizing Tupperware drawers, and my which is not normal.
Yeah, I love it.
I've always done it. I think it's just like who I am. And I love style and I love organization. And I was like, what can I do that combines both of those? And when I started, it was Marie Kondo was very popular at the time. And I was like, I could do this. And originally, when I first started my business, it was solely closet organization and styling. I was helping people go in, kind of edit out their closet, and then fill in with pieces that were timeless and classic and they really felt comfortable in. But the more closets I would organize, the more my clients would be like, can you do other rooms? Can you do the kitchen? Can you do the garage? Can you do whatever it may be? And so I shifted definitely a few years into my business and made it just an organization company or solely organization because that's really what people want.
Yeah, and I think it's so important to point out that, like, I mean, if you looked at my office right now, you'd be appalled. I mean, for me, this is semi-organized because I have like my stacks of books that are current right here with little notes sticking out and a couple folders. And then I have my note cards. And then over here, I have some other books. And I want it to look like your website, but that's just not the reality of who I am. And so this is such an important thing because not everybody is gifted with this talent. And I love that you have on your website like my passion is organization so that yours doesn't have to be.
Have to be. And not all of our projects end up being like Pinterest perfect, which I think is really important to understand. Like organization doesn't mean it is a perfectly organized space that you don't want to touch. It really is just setting up those organization systems that work for you and your family or your space, whatever, whoever it is you're organizing for or with in mind. We keep that specific person in mind when we set up the system so that they're easily maintained.
That is the key because easily maintained is the key, right? Like we can all make something look pretty, but then I always say like Wednesdays when I am fortunate enough when my housekeeper comes, I'm like, nobody touch anything. I need this to last for like 3 days. And inevitably the shoes are back in front of the door and like, but it's like coming up with ways to like put a bucket that has a cover so that they throw the shoes right in or whatever, like little things that I'm just not good at thinking about these things, but then I know what a mess looks like and I don't like it.
And that's the thing. And we really do go into every project talking with the client to be like, what are your pain points? Like, what bugs you the most? And finding a way to create something for them that A gets rid of the mess, but also they can maintain or their kids can maintain or anyone in the like anyone in the family can maintain so that it's useful. I mean, we all make messes. We all have papers, we all have shoes, we all have all the things. And our lives are busy. And so it really is setting things up so that you can maintain it no matter what you're doing in your day to day.
That's the key because I think we all know, like, okay, again, I have this beautiful thing, but how do I keep it this way? And so, what you're really talking about is systems to set up so that it is something that's easy to maintain over time. I think this is so important, whether it's like your desk or your closet or your bathroom or your kitchen or whatever it is where something that you're using all the time. It's like you are almost like a psychologist for I look at this like you're a psychologist for systems, right? Of people that what their needs are.
Yes. And really talking about, okay, what do you use on a day to day basis? Okay, make that handy. What do you not use? Like if you're never touching this, why is it even out? Why is it on your counter? Why do you even need it in the first place? It's being realistic about what you use and what you don't use and what you need on hand at all times and what you don't need at all.
Yeah. Okay. I have a question. So, do you work with husbands as well as wives?
I do work with husbands as well as wives.
So, I know we all have this is like a contention in every marriage, I think, is like, you know, um, the shoes that are left out, or like, in our case, like my husband's just used to living with stuff around. My desk has stuff that I'm actively using, like on top of it, but like in my bathroom, I don't like anything on the countertop. Right? So, like, is this like a dynamic that you deal with ever?
All the time. I feel like there's always like in a marriage, it's always like one person is a collector, as we like to say, and one person is like very minimalist. So it's kind of merging the two. And it's also about teaching. I feel like when we do go into and you see the space once it is organized or the space is cleaned up, that you're like, oh, this does feel better. It really just is about like going and be like, oh my God, how does this make me feel? This makes me feel so much better if it's less cluttered. So how can we maintain that? How can we create that? And how can we like work with each other on like what should be out and what shouldn't be out so that you guys are both happy?
That is so key. It's so good. I once did with a business coach years ago. He did this study on like our alchemy, and basically, which is so fascinating. Basically, like where your alchemy lives is how you actually feel about your space, your environment, beauty, all the things. And some people literally just have an alchemy that it doesn't bother them. Whereas other people, like, I need to walk into my house and not have certain things out of place. Or I can't even like start working if there's dishes in the sink.
I can't either. Like, I need the entire space to be picked up and cleaned before I can actually focus on any sort of like emails or work or something that isn't organizing.
Yeah, which is like using your brain, right? Where you're like having to sit and focus. Like I have this issue too, and I think it's a real thing. And so I bring this up because I think that something like this process with you, it can actually help like that dynamic in a household where it's like I literally say to my husband all the time, you don't understand. And this is like not bashing on him. He's not a messy guy. He doesn't have the same needs as I do.
It's just how we work in a space or how we feel in a space. And everyone has a different feel. But I will tell you, so many of our clients, as soon as we leave or that next day, they're like, I just feel so much lighter. And I do think clutter just has such a bigger mental effect on most people than we even realize. And once it's cleared and once a space is organized, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel lighter. Or you feel like you can do more now. Like you're not weighted down by all of this stuff because a lot of it's just stuff.
Stuff, and it's like you hang on to stuff that you think you might need later on. I have that thing. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if like in my childhood, and then you probably run into this where it's like all of a sudden I'll go, oh, but what if I need that later? Like I have a basket full of like random stuff. Like, I mean, I use note cards, but like, I don't know, notebooks and stuff that I'm like, why is this here? I don't need it, but for some reason I don't want to get rid of it.
I think a lot of it too is because we can consume so fast these days. I mean, you can order something and it can be on your doorstep in a few hours. We're consuming stuff so fast, but we don't get rid of stuff as fast. So then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I have all this stuff that I don't need anymore. But you're like, but what if I get rid of it? We just forget that we can get something right away if we need it. And we do get more stuff than we need. And then we're holding on to it. It's just all, but it's like, ooh, I want that. It's just so easy now to consume.
Yeah. Well, as we say, like the Amazon boxes are at the doorstep every other day. And my husband will be like, what did you order now? And I'm like, it wasn't me. And it's like the kids, the kids ordered something or whoever. It's like there's constant excess.
So easy is, a good and a bad. It's so good because like if I need it, you can get it right away. But it's also bad because then we do seem to have more. I don't know, if it's more than we need, or just, we don't get rid of it as fast as we bring it in. So things do feel more cluttered. So if we have a system, or you just get in the habit of like, oh, I haven't used this in a while, like I don't need it anymore.
So that brings up a good point about like you mentioned like people's closets. And when you go into someone's closet and you clean it out, you're doing an edit. And what is that process like?
So we work with the client one on one and we literally go through every single piece of clothing, which I know sounds crazy, but it does make a big difference because you do lose stuff in a closet. You're like, oh my God, I forgot I had that. Or I didn't even know that was in there. So we'll go through piece by piece and be very realistic and honest about, do you want it? Do you need it or not? Or we do a yes, no, maybe pile. So yes is a definite, no is we'll either sell it or donate it. And then maybe is let's see if it fits. Does it need to be repaired? Does it need all those whatever kind of what ifs? And then when we reorganize the space, we reorganize only what is kept and we organize it in a way that is functional. And what are your daily needs? Like if you're working in an office every day and you need to dress nicer, let's put those clothes up front. If you're wearing leggings and sweatshirts every day, let's make sure that's like up front and handy and grasp it. And everything else kind of goes up and away a little bit.
See, it's so key because I actually organize my closet at this moment with colors and seasons. Okay, so it's like seasonal. So like I have the seasonal stuff in the front, but then I'm like, "Oh, but I like the colors together, so I'll do like a sleeveless turtleneck with a tank top because it's the same color because it looks good, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense." you know? So we
Own way. And if that works for you, great. You just want, again, you want to make it work for you. And if for you, you're like, oh, I want all the colors together. Because if you go into your closet and get dressed by like color, then great, that works for you. Like some people go in and they're like, oh, I'm wearing my work stuff 95% of the time. That needs to be front and center. So it all depends on like what your lifestyle is, which is why, it can't, and what we kind of stand by is it's like not a cookie cutter business. It's not we go in and here's what we do for every client. We really work with you on what your exact needs are so that it works for you.
It's so important. I think there are so many of us out there who either don't have the time to do this ourselves, and we just sit there and go, one of these days I'm going to go through my closet. Like I do the once a season thing where I'll go and I'll go, I haven't, I don't, I'll pull out a pair of pants and I'll go, I don't wear these anymore. But there's no like way of keeping it maintained. And I think that's the difference is like really like coming in and creating a system that's functional, that's going to keep you going, week after week, day after day, and that you can find stuff. I go through my closet sometimes and I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot about that. Or where is that dress? Is that still at the dry cleaners?
I mean, I do mine. It really is like when I'm out of hangers, I know I'm like, okay, I need to do an edit. Like I have no more empty hangers. I don't know why. It's like the hangers aren't going anywhere. Like no one's throwing hangers away. So they should be there. So that's what I know. I'm like, okay, I need to do a quick little edit. Is there anything just like first glance? Like I'll just pull stuff. And what I swear by, and I do this for the kids and myself and try to for most of my clients, is keeping a bin or a basket or whatever it may be at the bottom or top of your closet. So anytime there is something you're like, oh, this has a hole in it, or oh, why do I have this in my closet? Just throw it in that basket. And when that basket or bin is full, that's when you donate it.
Okay, so this is such a good point. I have a bag in my laundry room, and now it's 2 grocery bags full of stuff of my kids. Like, we went through the ski box, okay, and went through all the clothes, and everything was, like, too small, and I threw it all in a bag, and it's been sitting in my laundry room. My biggest issue is getting it to the donation place, so I have ongoing piles of clothes, and then it'll take me 6 months to go donate it.
As long as they're not in the closet sitting there taking up space or bugging you, if you have one spot to keep them until you do a big donation, totally fine. But it does help you kind of immediately pull stuff out so that your space isn't full of stuff that you're not wearing.
I love this. I'm literally gonna go after we get off this recording and go put a Tupperware box or whatever, storage box in my closet and start putting stuff in it. This is super. It's so smart. It's so smart. It's like the one because I will literally look at something. I'll go. I know that my son isn't wearing this anymore, but I'll put it back in the drawer. So it's a classic thing that we all do as moms. And on that note, I would love to chat with you a little bit about um, being a mom, being an entrepreneur, running a business, and doing it all because I know that you do, and you do a lot of it yourself. And just what that's like because I think there's a lot of women who think that because they have kids that they don't have the ability, the time or the space to give to a business and their kids. So I would really love to hear like how you do it.
I mean, it's a lot, I'll be honest. And there's a lot I want to do that I don't do because I have kids. There's always things where you're like, oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. And I think social media plays a really big role in that because you see what some other people are doing and you're like, I should do that, but I'm not. But I also have to take a step back down and realize I am an entrepreneur. I am a mom and and I've got 2 kids that I'm taking care of and I'm pretty much doing it on my own. I have a wonderful team of gals that helps me with all my projects and they are so pivotal in like making this all work and they're so wonderful with my clients, but like the back end I do all myself. Um and it's taken a lot of years, but I've also realized like I have finally set boundaries of like, okay, I work when my kids are at school. And then once I pick them up, I'm pretty much done. Yeah, I'll send some emails. Yeah, I'll do other stuff. But I do set some pretty firm boundaries and my clients are okay with it, is what I've realized. Like, they need help. They usually have kids. I want to give them as much help as I can, but I also have to be realistic about being a mom and, running my business. So it's about setting boundaries and knowing kind of what you're capable of and being okay with not doing everything.
All the things. Yeah, I think you make such a good point about the social media thing. I get caught up in that too because, like, even with my business, I sometimes will see and I'll go, oh, I want to be, I got to do this much in order to get to this point. But the point is, I started this business so that I could teach women that you can have both, so that I could teach women that you can, you know, get creative and do all the things that you want to do and have the flexibility to shut it off and be with your kids and be present when you want to. That's why we do this. So it's like you have to remember, oh, yeah, that was the why. So I need to stay in that.
Like the why corporate is to have time with my kids. And it's like, yeah, I could work all day, every day. Great. But I'm like, but no, I want to be with my kids. So I'm like, I make a point to turn it off at a certain hour. And I have that flexibility to do that, but I have to stick with it, which is hard.
I know, me too. Like, trust me, I literally, there are some days, even last night, I was working and I looked up, and my husband happened to be, at our restaurant business working last night. And I looked up and it was 7 o'clock. And I was like, I mean, one of my kids was at lacrosse practice, so I wasn't worried about him. And my other one was next to me, like sitting on the floor doing homework next to me. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, I haven't made dinner. It's 7 o'clock. Like, I haven't done anything. I could have worked all night long. And so there is that time where you do get, carried away with whatever project you're working on, and it's easy to do, and that's why flexibility is amazing when you're an entrepreneur. But it's also super important to like check in and be like, oh yeah, I'm doing this so that I have balance. I need to like stay true to that as well.
I need it. And I think that's the hardest part of being an entrepreneur is wanting to like keep doing it and doing it. And you're like, I could do so much. But it's like, wait, I'm doing this so that I can be with my kids and I need to like take a little breather and like stay true to myself, be like, okay, I have a hard stop at this time and like sticking by it. That's the hardest part.
Because if you were in an office working for someone else, you would leave at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever it was.
100% you'd leave and I wouldn't look at my phone again.
Right.
But when
Exactly.
you're responsible for it, it's harder, but it's
Yeah.
also pretty amazing that we can do that. And
It is so amazing. Okay, so for those women out there who are thinking about starting a business, and I had you on because you have the type of business like me and like people that a lot of women that I work with who can start with an idea, and it can you can ease your way into building something, so it's not this overwhelming 60-hour a week thing that feels hard. But you also know that you're going to dip your toe in, and you're going to commit to it, and you're going to make it something that's legitimate. And if you were, if you're take yourself back to when you started, like, what would be your advice to that old self of yours that was just stepping into that?
I mean, I've heard this from so many people and it rings so true because I did it is don't wait to start. And it doesn't have to be perfect to start. I think that's the biggest thing. I was like, my website's not ready. I don't really have a plan yet. Like I don't have business cards. I mean, this was back in the day. I feel like when we used business cards, all the things, like I just was like, this isn't ready. This isn't perfect. This isn't. But I was like, it's never going to be. Like to this day, I'm still like, oh, this isn't perfect. This isn't perfect. But you just have to start.
Yeah, it's like that over analyzation, it's create the procrastination.
Right. Where your business doesn't have to be perfect to start it. Another really good one is like testing out whatever your business may be, a product, a service, whatever it is, like test it out on people. Like use your friends as guinea pigs, use your family, which I think was really helpful to me to see like what worked and what didn't work.
Totally. And what parts of it you actually love and that keep you going.
Right. Like, oh, this was amazing. I felt great about this, and this was worth my time and the money and all the things. This maybe was more time spent and not really worth it, or this doesn't feel right, all the things. So test out on a few people before you fully commit to what you're doing and know that things are going to change. Like my business platform completely changed a few years in, realizing styling wasn't what really people wanted. They wanted more organization. So be flexible in your services or your product as the needs change and as people's ask for things or request things or whatever you may see.
Totally. It's like this perfect balance between because I'm big about purpose, obviously the show name, and also just like stepping into what it is that you love to do and bringing that to whatever the need is. So it's kind of like meet halfway. Like your purpose may be like my purpose is connecting with more women, helping women level up, getting on, making an impact, all those things. But what the women may need is okay, but can you meet me in this capacity, in this way? And so it's being able to adapt to what you love with what the need is. And I think that's the where the magic sauce is kind of like meeting that point. But you got to start somewhere. You don't know what it is right away. You just know you have a vision.
Yes. Or be like, I can do this. Or if a lot of people are doing this projects on the side for people, whatever it may be, or selling stuff like on an Etsy shop, whatever it may like. A lot of people have these things that they're doing that could easily become a business and are either, I don't know, too scared to start, don't think it will really be successful, but you never know unless you try.
100%. Okay, so last question about this. What is your best way of marketing? Like, do you feel like social media is the thing, or is it Etsy, or is it like where do you go for like aside from networking? I mean, like the end of the day, businesses are built on relationships and people and networking. I'm a firm believer in that. It's proven itself to me for decades in my media business and now. But beyond that, where do you feel like you get the most traction?
Yeah, I mean, word of mouth, which is networking. I mean, 90% I feel like of my business is word of mouth. It's coming from a friend or a past client who starts talking about it or comes in their home, sees it, and they refer us. Social media, I don't see. It's funny. People will mention it. They'll be like, "Oh my god, I love what you're doing on there," which is great. I love it. I do think it keeps you forefront in people's minds. I wouldn't say it gets me a ton of business.
Yeah, it's not like an ROI piece.
It's not at all. I do a lot of like school donations, which I think really helps. And that tends to lead to, again, someone bought it, they used us, and then they refer us. Again, it goes back to referrals.
100%. Same thing, by the way, with our restaurant business. I mean, aside from our restaurant being in a pretty, easily walkable location with a good storefront and all of that, it was getting into the community, getting into volunteering and networking and connecting with people and doing the donations at the schools and getting our name out there in just any way we could locally first and then building the brand beyond that. Like I tell so many people who are trying to build these businesses online, I'm like, you got to start with your relationships and then you can build online. It's like you can't, I mean, yes, you could have a product that could go viral online, but it's so hard to build a brand online from scratch without having a foundation underneath.
Especially because everything is online now. It is so saturated. It's really hard. So you really do have to get your base and your core clients or service or again, whatever it may be, like in your community. And then from there, you can grow.
Yeah, exactly. We're on the same page. I mean, I want to sit here and ask you a million questions about just like how you're doing it all and all the things, but I really just wanted to have you on to, share with our audience that you started a business from scratch when you had kids. And it's been now what, 7 years?
7 years.
Wow. And you're just, I mean, I see you on social media and it looks like you're killing it. So, we all know that social media is like, you got to know that there's always a little bit behind the scenes that you don't see. But the fact of the matter is, if it's something that you want to do and you have an inkling, just go do it.
Just do it. Don't just start. Just start and see where it can take you because you'll be surprised.
Exactly. Okay. Well, if our listeners and anyone that's listening or watching the show want to find you and ask you questions about your business and your editing and all the organization stuff that you do, where can we find you?
You can find me on my website at itslifestyle.com. One word. Social media, you can find me on Instagram and it's at its.lifestyled. And there's tips on there, tricks, all the little tidbits that I can give you. And then you can ask me anything. But you can, contact me through my website and we'll get back to you and we can go from there.
I love it. You're amazing, Teresa. Thank you so much. This has been so and I need to I'm literally thinking like a back to school before school starts after the summer is like a regroup, but also timing wise, like people are doing a lot of spring clean outs. Like now is a big time for this kind of.
That was a really big time. It's really good to get all the winter stuff kind of put away, spring stuff out, and get ready for the summer. Because think about it too, this is the one time your kids are at school. If you have kids the school age, like they're out of the house right now, do it before they're home for the summer so that the systems are set up and you're ready to go.
So good. So good. Well, thank you, Teresa. I have a feeling you'll be
Yeah.
getting a few phone calls coming after this, especially one from me.
Can't wait. To
All right. Love it. Thank you,
Thank you.
Teresa. Okay. We'll talk soon. And for everyone listening and watching the show today, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week. Thank you again for listening to Where Passion Meets Purpose. If you're enjoying this show, please subscribe and download it so you don't miss an episode every single week. And if you think you have a friend who might benefit from listening, please share it with them as well. If you'd like to contact me, you can always reach me through email on my website at jenmentesana.com and my social media, Jen_Mentesana. And you can DM me there and I'll always respond and we can connect about topics on the show or anything else you'd like to discuss. Thanks again for tuning in.